Well, EPA standards for a healthy stream is below 500. Anything below 500. And for potable water, it's supposed to be under 100. This stream is inundated with heavy metals. So yeah, what you don't see in this creek, obviously, is any crawdads or minnows or freshwater mussels, hellbenders, anything like that. And that's honestly my best guess of what this is, because that's kind of what it looks like. It's flocculent. That's what separates the coal out from everything that's not coal. Makes the coal float and everything else sink. I mean, but pretty much every person who's worked in a prep plant for more than 15 years and gets exposed to that sort of stuff, like, they all end up with a lot of neurological damage, a lot of Parkinson's-like symptoms, which is what my dad's going through right now. Yeah. I grew up in a little town, a little coal camp called Eunice, right on the Boone County, Raleigh County line. The Marsh Fork of the Coal River flows 20 yards behind my house. My parents live, 2 houses down from me. My grandparents live 2 houses up from me. If you're looking down the Coal River Valley, Brushy Fork would be up in Marsh Fork Holler, which is to the right of my house. Twilight is off to the left of my house, and that's where they put all those underground injection wells for disposing of coal slurry. Coal slurry is the byproduct of processing coal. It's everything in the coal that they're not allowed to burn inside of a power plant, as well as all those chemical agents that are used to take all those elements out of the coal. And it's this thick, muddy, viscous stuff, full of nastiness. It's muck. And they dispose of this waste in one of 2 ways. They either put it in those huge earthen dams, those impoundments like Brushy Fork behind my house, billions and billions of gallons of it, or they pump it into old abandoned underground coal mines, which they also did above my house. And then right after that, they were blasting right on top of it on the Twilight Strip mine. And so that cracked the aquifer, let all that coal slurry seep through the groundwater and get into our wells. It wasn't just my family, it was everybody down in our bottom. In that little alley of Eunice had nasty, disgusting water for about 7 years because of that. You can't stand in the road and throw a rock without hitting a house that somebody in that household has either fought cancer or they got it now. We're up here on a ridge line on Coal River Mountain today. As you can tell, it's pretty foggy, but a couple hundred yards that way. If you listen real close on the audio, you can hear heavy equipment moving around, that sort of thing. That's the Middle Ridge surface mine permit here on Coal River Mountain, and an otherwise fairly pristine wilderness area. Well, growing up, I always hated it around here. I always wanted to be out in a city somewhere. I hated the fact that there was, less than 1,000 people living right around where I was at. After I graduated high school and grew up, that's when it really started to grow on me. And I realized how lucky I really was to come up in a place like this. You can't look in any direction around here without just having your breath taken away from you from how beautiful it is. The vast majority of the land in the entirety of southern West Virginia is owned by a handful of outside landholding companies. And it's been this way since the late 1800s. There's really only one vast tract of wilderness area left around here. and it's permitted to be gone. And if they take Coal River Mountain, there won't be nowhere left to go to hunt or anything else. And you know, that's something that used to really be ingrained in the culture around here. I mean, even up until the 80s, you know, because that's how people took care of themselves when the union was around, when they were on strike and everything else. Is, you know, they'd go live off the land in the woods for a while and put food on their family's table in that way. And that's a lot harder to do nowadays.